Welcome everyone to the Winning in the Shadows 2024 recap video. We are going to go over all of the sports in 2024, what our winning record was, what sports we did good in, what went right, what went wrong. We're going to go over our goals for 2025, and then we're going to hand out some prestigious awards, the 2024 MVPs. All three of us did different goals and MVPs, and it's funny to compare what we all three came up with different. So first off, we're going to get started with our 2024 record, and we're going to give you guys a really great promo for 2025 for all of our plays. When you see our 2024 record, you'll understand why you should be investing in 2025. So here we go. 2024, our record ended up being 625 wins, 422 losses for 59.7% win rate, 5.4% ROI, plus 127.87 units. It's pretty amazing, guys. I mean, that's pretty well done. So now we're going to break it down by sports, and Corbin already looked at some of the sports. I will just say I'm stunned.
This is great. I have no clue. This is great. I'm excited.
Jim, you won't be able to guess.
You will absolutely not be able to guess. It's really, really wild. We're going to start with the worst one and then build up from there. Let's get the worst one out of the way. I think that might be it's NFL. It's the bane of my existence. NFL 52 and 55 for minus 42 units. It is the gigantic stain on our record. The good news is the last 3 weeks we have been profitable, and I think we figured out some things. What's been working for us recently is actually putting in a lot more plays at just lower percentage, just taking everything that we really like, putting it in at like 1%, as opposed to just trying to go all in on one single thing. So NFL, that was what really, really held us back this year. College football, 13-6 plus 12.15 units. Could not be more happy with the college football experience. So that was for 2024. It's been, we've done it 2 seasons in a row. Very, very profitable in both seasons. 1 play per week has done just fine for us. We'll get to what we're going to do college football in 2025. This was one that surprised me, Corbin. I don't know if you look. Yeah,
that was the last one of the ones that surprised me.
NBA, very good in 2024, 59 and 43 for plus 22.53 units. Nice run the last week of 2024. But I remember in December of 2023, NBA was not going well. I took a month off. We came back and had a pretty nice end to the 2024 season and into the playoffs. And then the 2024-25 season started off well. So that was a pleasant surprise. WNBA, we only did 10 plays, 6 and 4 for plus 1.6 units. We had a couple theories on how to play Caitlin Clark, and I'm interested in doing a little bit more with WNBA. I paper traded quite a bit. I think we can add some more volume to WNBA. MLB, I don't even remember.
I don't even remember us doing MLB plays.
At first glance, I looked at this and I said, when did we have 22 MLB plays?
They're in the system. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I seriously, truly do not remember that. But 10 and 12 for minus 11.55 units. I have thoughts on MLB coming up later. Corbin, was NHL another surprise?
This was the biggest shock out of all of them.
85 and 48 for plus 30.24 units in NHL. I knew we were good. I didn't know we were this good in 2024. I mean, like, the winning percentage has been absolutely fantastic. I mean, hitting close to 65% of NHL plays. But for the entire year to be up 30 units was a very, very pleasant surprise. Going back and looking at that. So soccer, 43 and 27 plus 1.69 units.
Whoa.
Corbin, I know, Corbin, you're not.
Yeah.
There's a plus next to that number.
There's a plus. Yes, so don't be too bent out of shape. MMA is interesting because it's 57 and 39 for plus 17.93 units. Doesn't include cross-sport parlays, which so a lot of the parlay pieces from MMA don't go into the MMA record, but winning record plus 17.93 units, we'll take it. Motorsports surprised me, but then I remembered we had a lot more cross-sport parlays
Yes.
with some of those Mercedes double top 10 and some of those. But 22 and 16 for plus 1.1 units just on motorsports in 2024. I would say that's a big disappointment for us. And Corbin, you're going to talk about where we can do better in Formula One next year. Golf 41 and 30 for plus 7.06 units. Not a number that I'm super happy with, but what I am super happy with is that makes every single year since being at Wager Talk profitable in golf and motorsports. You cannot ask for more than that. Corbin, were you surprised by tennis?
Yeah, I wanted it to be more again.
Oh, okay. All right. So tennis was 102 and 56 for plus.
I think this is my worst year.
Well, if this is your worst year and you're going to give us 33 units in your worst year, buddy,
I can't wait.
No, I always lean on the negative side. I want more from myself.
Oh, we know.
I understand that. We appreciate the being lofty expectations, which one of your goals for 2025
both my goals
is truly insane. But hey, listen, 102.56 for plus 33 units. Absolutely. We'll take it. Shout out to the lacrosse department coming in 31 and 19 for plus 27.71 units. So producer Dan is out of town this week, so he couldn't join us tonight. But lacrosse continues to be one of those sports. I put lacrosse and darts in the same category. These are sports that are up and coming. We are out in front of it. And that is something that I feel absolutely fantastic about is that we have those plays locked and loaded and that we're familiar with the sport, the more and more popular it gets. Darts finished 53 and 34 for plus 15.81 units. And then there's some random bets in here that I really couldn't find a category for. Plus 8.64 units. I would say the cross-sport parlays did much better than this with some of the PFL plays and Formula One. But add it all up together, and you end up with plus 127.87 units. So that is number one at Wager Talk for the last 2 years. So plus 91 units in 2023, plus 127 units for 2024. I mentioned that we're running a promo. We do this every year. Guys, we preach long-term, and we always say, don't mess around with daily packages. 3 days and 7 days and 30 days is fine. You really want to get on board for a year. We've shown long-term success. So we're running a promo. Use the promo code for 365 days of all plays, Andy365. It comes out to 1 year, and it's $99 per month. The savings is fantastic. A normal 30-day package is $299. If you do that over the course of the year, it's $3,588. The special is $1,188. So you're saving $2,400 on a year's worth of plays. We're going to leave this promo up for a few weeks because I know it's a big investment, but do whatever you can to get involved. If you only got a couple months left on your year package, we'll work something out. We'll prorate it and we can lock you in. But this is going to run for a few weeks. You've got to be long term. You have to invest in all of these sports. That's how we build our bankroll. That's how we do a lot of our plays. We have our daily packages and our daily plays, but it's an art and a science the way we build a bankroll over the course of a year. So anybody that is on board for a year, you're up 127 units. Last year, you're up 91 units. So take advantage of that. Just go to wagertalk.com, go to my profile page, and use the promo code Andy365 on checkout. Just go here and grab a 1 year pass, $99 a month. So smoking deal. So going back to our records here, Jim, anything that really sticks out to you? What was a surprise? Because Corbin knew some of these. What kind of surprised you with these?
I'll shave a shout out to Dan here. What I love about the lacrosse is look at the volume of plays. Not a lot of plays, and to get damn near 30 units, that's pretty incredible. That's pretty incredible. Like you said, we're out ahead of that sport. It's going to be huge. We've identified these sports over the past couple of years that are going to grow. Lacrosse, darts. Even like the wacky fighting promotions like Power Slap. And, we've cashed some of those bets throughout the year as well. So we're out ahead of there. The MMA units, I'm disappointed in. I thought we would have been better in MMA, but just going again, it's tough to gauge because we used MMA in cross sports so much. So I'm going to keep better track of that this year, and just kind of keep an eye on all of that. But yeah, look, what's shocking to me is the amount that numbers that have a plus next to them.
Yeah.
And I'm shocked that we have that many. What do we have? 2 sports that we were down in?
Yeah.
And one of them we bet for a week and said the heck with it. So really, NFL is the only one where we didn't make units on throughout the entire year. So that's what's shocking to me. And kudos to you guys. Great team, man. If we can keep stacking plus numbers next to everything, we'll be good.
Corbin, what was the biggest surprise you think?
Probably the NHL. I wasn't expecting the NHL to be that high. Everything else is kind of where I expected it for the most part. There's a few, like, I thought motorsports on its own would be higher, but then again, we use so many in cross sports that hence why the plays are so low. Yeah, everything else is kind of, I mean, lacrosse is, I wasn't that surprised because I know how red hot we were in lacrosse. The rest of them, it's like, you look back at the year and there were so many times where we had like a good run in a certain sport, but you have to remember that that good run's not going to happen all year long. Like, I'm trying to think of like soccer, like I ended up 1.69, but I've had stretches where I had a good run and then stretches where I've had a bad run. It's like, same with tennis. Like, I'm sure if you just did the tennis majors, it would be a higher number than what that one is. So it's just picking these sports at the right times in the right places for the most part for me. So
yeah, I'm kind of with you, Corbin. I'm with you the NHL because we don't have like 5% plays in NHL. It's kind of steady Eddie, but so yeah, plus 30 units over a calendar year was good. I would say NBA. I that was the biggest surprise for me. I know that this year has gone pretty good, but I go back to like 2023 when it really wasn't going that well, and to walk away with 22 units in NBA is a really, really pleasant surprise. So, all right. So now let us go to our 2025 goals, and I will start us off here. Keep evolving with new categories and sports. This one is really, really important to me. We've embraced new sports. We've embraced the new categories. And I think that's one of the things that really separates with what we do. Jim, you were just completely ahead of PFL. Like you knew the events like before they got here. Finding some of these new categories. Corbin, with darts and sports, you saw a lot of the trends that were getting ready to happen. And I think that's something that a lot of handicappers don't do. They're stuck in their ways. And I really, really want to be known as the guys that really keep on top of the new emerging categories. Because the fact is, these sports books, like every 3 months or so, there's something new coming out of the like new options and stuff. And if you can be the first to figure them out, you can take advantage of it. Higher volume in certain sports. You guys have definitely convinced me that we lay off a lot of winners. That's one of the biggest problems in NFL. It needs to be controlled, but yes, there are absolutely sports that we need to be higher volume and kind of lower percentage. UFC is going to be one of them, and NFL is going to be one of them. Those are sports that we absolutely laid off of way too many winners, and I need to be better about that. I always aim for 100 units per year. So goal is 100 units for 2025. When you see Corbin's goal, wow. I love maintaining the number one spot for the last 2 years. That's really important to me because I believe we're the only person that was top 5 in 2024 and 2023. So to say that we've done it over 2 years, I really, really enjoy being able to say that. Don't be bitter on social media. So I have made this a goal to be more active on social media and do more things on social media. And I have to remind myself that when you do that, you're going to track good and some bad, and to not focus on the bad and not be bitter. Sometimes they deserve it, but it doesn't mean I need to react in that negative way. So the streak of profitable golf and Formula One seasons, listen, You guys know when I have a bad golf week, I'm in a bad mood. We have
No,
They don't
never,
know. They
never
have
would have
no
guessed that.
extent in which
it drives me absolutely up the wall. So, talking more confident and professional about the sports that we bet. This is a constant battle that I have. When we talk about darts, or when I go on shows and they're like, talk about darts, the first reaction that people have is, oh, you're a degenerate, or oh, that's not a real bet. And I need to really just pound into people's head like, hey, we're number one the last 2 years. We're up 127 units for a reason. It's because we take advantage of some of these sports and these props. Like the fade the baby theory in UFC, that is not laughable. That is like one of the better trends that we've discovered. And I need to talk about that stuff just a little bit more professional. Like I need to talk about in the same tone that guys talk about like the spread in the NFL playoffs. Like the money spends the same. We're more profitable than some of those. So I need to make sure that I keep my eye on the prize and really explain to people you can make money off of this. This is why, and do it in a professional way. And then we talked about the emerging categories. The golf individual round score props is going to be a big deal for me this year. There were several guys that were just cash cows in that. It used to be that you could only play individual round golf scores on the majors, and just bang, this year, all of a sudden you could do it every tournament. And that is going to be something that I think there's a real edge in. So that's going to be something that I want to be hitting 60% of by the end of the year. So those are my 2025 goals. All right, Corbin, you're up.
Oh God.
Here you got a lot of them. So we'll start with the betting strategies for clients.
Yeah, pretty much more of the same. I mean, the record, everything we just said kind of speaks for itself. So just continuing on in that theme, gonna try and get plays up earlier. I know it's harder for me in my time zone being completely different to you guys, and like plays in 3 different time zones at the same time. It's a lot, but I'm gonna try and get them up earlier. More qualifying plays. F1 qualifying was one of my biggest money earners last year, and Andy might not like this, but we normally in F1 qualifying do just one parlay potentially a week. I'm gonna put in more than one. I'm not gonna use the same guys, but if I see 2 or 3 different scenarios where you can have parlays with different people and it still works out, I'm gonna do it this year because it was a cash cow. But on the flip side, I'm going to have less race plays. The difference in qualifying to race is crazy. If you take out the qualifying that's in the wet or where there's a wacky kind of situation and just do the normal qualifying versus the race, quite simply, the qualifying, they have like 2 or 3 attempts to do a quick enough lap to get them through to the end, basically. Whereas the race, you could be out in 10 seconds, like we saw in the last race of the year where I think, was it Piastri? It was Piastri, wasn't it?
Yep.
Went into turn 1 ahead, Verstappen couldn't give a care what was going on, just drive straight into him. And that loses us the bet. It undoes all the good work that we just did on the qualifying the day before. So I'm really probably not going to have many, if any, race plays, but way more qualifying plays. NBA, we touched on it. I really I was an NBA hater up until the last month, and that puts it lightly. But
the direct quote was, "I hate NBA. I want nothing to do with it."
yeah. Andy reminds me about it quite often. But like, I've had quite good success when I look back. Like every now and then I go back and I look and I tend to. I'm not going to pretend I have the greatest NBA knowledge. I don't know all the players. I don't know all the pace and matchups and all the technical stuff. But with so many sports, I can just read games from the stats. I don't need to watch them to necessarily know every in and out that's going on. Yeah, so I'm going to put in more NBA, lower percentage. I'm not going to go crazy and start having 3% plays every night because that's how you're going to get killed. I like what we've done for the last 2-3 weeks in particular, where if I have a player I like, I'll put it in at like 1.5%. And then if I have one that I really like, we'll go for like the 2s and 3s. I'm just trying to remember, like we've had like Reeves recently. Loved the streak that he was on. I also like where we see a change. So we saw obviously Reeves is getting the ball more. They obviously traded Russell. Good spot. Fire on that at 3% or whatever for the first like few days until the line completely gets out of whack. So I like what we're doing with that. I had a couple more on my strategies for next year. You already mentioned it, the golf round scores. I was betting them all last year. They're great. Just pick a few guys normally every tournament and don't even watch for the most part. Just bet it every single round. I need to be more precise on soccer, just less all over the place. I need to just pick 1 or 2 plays a week, quite honestly. Andy's going to hate this part as well, but I may bring corners back in very, very select spots. I had one soccer play, I think, in the last 2 weeks that was a corners play, and it hit quite easy. Actually, I had 2 that involved corners, and they both won. So we'll see. We'll try and not give Andy a heart attack with that for long. And then just being more cautious of tennis during the off majors. I got killed today on a Djokovic quarter, which I put in a game ago at -450, and he's been over -1200 every game. So, I mean, I got the value because I hate the word value as well, but from -450 is way better than laying it. But he lost as a I forgot what he was today, like -2000 favorite. And the guy he was playing just served unbelievably. Like, there's no way I could have known what was coming with that. But these things just happen way more irregularly outside the majors. I'm not going to stop playing outside the majors, but I'm just going to play them either lower percentage or be really select with where I'm going. Personally, stop putting too many of the same plays in the parlays. I am a sucker for doing it, and I stopped myself doing it for a while, and then I fall back into the same habit. So yeah, gonna try and stop doing that. But
No, stop. You're not gonna try. There is no try, there is only do. I will quote Yoda in this situation. You will do it, buddy.
Yes, you're gonna do it, Corbin. You're absolutely gonna do it.
Yeah. Buy a new camera. Every single video, somebody mentions my camera at some point. That I will. Yes. Limit plays on player props. So again, similar to the first one, I can't have. In my mind, I don't think I can have more than 3% on a player prop going forward, just because of how it takes such fine margins for these things to change. It's not like a team sport where if one guy's down, everyone else can group around and still pull through. It's like injuries or like game situations. There's just so many stuff that can happen to one particular player on any given game. And then more live betting. I have been singing live betting for particularly the last 6 months. NFL live betting, amazing. When you can see a team is down and you just take their wide receiver to have 2 more catches in the second half, crazy. Same with tennis. I've been live betting tennis for ages. You see a player go down, you just, like Alcaraz at many points was down 1 break in the first set. You just bet him to win the first set, and inevitably he always comes back, and you get some great prices. My goals for the year, I'm going bold. I'm going 200 units this year.
200 units.
I'm going for 200. I'm gutted that we're not more than 150 this year. We were at one stage, and then we had a small blip, which caused me to go into a total panic meltdown. If we could have just avoided that like 3-week stretch, we probably would have been pretty close to 200, I think, because I think we've made 27 units since that time. So we really wouldn't be that far away, particularly with all the extra sports we now have, all the different markets, refining what is working and not working. I want to make a push for 200. That's my bold goal. Tennis, I mentioned that I'm not happy. I want it to go at least 50 plus. In my head, I want to make at least 20 units every major alone. So that's like 80 units. So like that accounts for maybe losing the one major a year, or like some of the outside of that. So yeah, I really want to make more than 50 units, and then just more videos. We need to, similar to Andy, we need to spread the word of some of these unique sports. We need to do darts videos. We need to promote some of these lesser known areas. That'll do for me.
All right. Good work, Corbin. All right, Jim, you're up. 2025 goals.
Real simple. I thought I was a little bullish wanting a couple of these, but Corbin's shooting for those stars, which I love. If you guys don't know, an angry Corbin is a good Corbin. So this is good. I like this. Double the bankroll. Now, that should be everybody's goal. No matter what your bankroll is. It could be $2,000. It could be $10,000. It could be $50,000. If you double your bankroll every year, you're going to be very happy. Okay. So I think it's most certainly doable. As you guys that have been following us know, I had a baby. I vaporized my bankroll to make sure that we were set with the baby, and I built it back up. I doubled it since then. So since his birthday in February, I've doubled it, and my goal is to double it again. Obviously, more than that is always better, but that's the baseline I want to start. Fire away when the time is right. I can't tell you how many times this year we've had phone call after phone call about a play, and we've looked at it for 5 days, and then we're sitting there saying, why the heck didn't we put it in? So instead of spending all this extra time making sure it's perfect, we got to trust our guts here. Okay. And when we see something, we got to fire. So when we see something that we really like, you guys will know, because we are going to fire, and we're going to fire early. Less player props, or less props in MMA. This started off good to start the year and took an absolute tumble halfway through the year. And that was something that we identified in MMA. And we stopped doing it. And I'm glad we did, because there were some fights this year where we had some big, heavy favorites or two heavyweights that were fighting each other. And somebody's got to get knocked out. And luckily, what we did was we identified the slow heavyweight overs and pivoted. So less props in MMA. I'm finding that with the glove change, and now we're going back to gloves. We're going to start the year sticking to mainly money lines and parlays and time props, but less of the, to win by knockout, to win by submission, to win in the second round. There's too much going on there. However, I'll use a prime example. Who was our guy? I'm drawing a blank now. That just fought Alvarez.
Oh, God.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
We totally just passed over to him to win by finish against a guy who was forced to fight him. he didn't want to take the fight, and they made him fight Alvarez. And we just passed it by. And those are the moments that like we said, we laid off winners that we should have been on. We hold ourselves to a higher standard to identify those spots and make those adjustments. So we're going to keep them down. Narrowing down the bets per sport. I love that we've geared everything back and really not tried to just fire all over the board. And one thing that I want to make sure of for myself is that realizing the time frame that you have to get your profits in on a sport. So we still have basketball going. We still have hockey going. MMA is year round. So you don't need to go, I'm going to miss this, I'm going to miss that. You have 12 months of betting. So they don't have to be fire all the time. Narrow down the bets to the cream of the crop and go for it. Much similar to Corbin's tennis, 70% plus in PFL and Bellator. I am on an absolute mission in low-level MMA to absolutely crush this season. I feel like I have a great read for it. The strategy that these companies are making, we have to remember that it's not just about wins and losses. It's about marketing. And we saw that especially in Bellator and in PFL, that they will book their big names to have success. Really simple. They'll give them enough of a test to where their stock increases, but not to the point where they're in threat of a loss. So Bellator and PFL, very, very excited for. I hope that we don't see this company fold up, but really also looking into lower level MMA a little bit more. We were so good on these cards this year. I think we can follow that over. College football. I know, one play a week. It was great. player props in college football have to be a thing. Just absolutely have to be a thing. We paper traded a bunch of them. Those of you who are in the Discord, we've been giving them out in there, not really for client plays. I think I got a really good read on what these teams are going to do. And you just get these spots where that guys that are going for the Heisman, guys that are going for national titles, guys that are, going to be picked a top 10 pick, they are going to get them the ball as much as they can. So we really had some spots that we kind of paper traded, but would have been easy cashes. So very interested in player props growing going into the next season.
So there's a couple here that are interesting. It's funny, you have narrowed down the bets per sport. One of mine is let's increase the volume. Yeah. There is a happy medium. You guys are definitely more high volume than me, and there's a way to meet in the middle. And Corbin, you've done a great job. I cannot tell you how much I applaud you for switching stances on NBA. You could have been so set in your ways that you missed out on a lot of winners, and you've been really, really good in the NBA. But one of the things you showed me is no, we need to play all of them. Mm-hmm. Like you have 3 that you love tonight. Play them all. You don't have to play them all at 4%.
I feel like that's a reoccurring conversation. Andy will put in one NHL and then he'll tell me about 2 or 3 others, and I'll be like, "And you've put them in?" And he'll go, "No, I've only put this one." And I'm like, "Just do it."
Like, I used to say the other week, you go, "Do you want me to do it?"
Yeah. What I do is I get too worried about being overexposed with one night, but I just need to keep getting it through my head. Just put them all in at a lower percent. If you got 4 plays one night, just put them in all at 1% or 1.5%. We have faith in the winning percentage that we have. So, and then, Jim, I'm with you on the college football props. So when we started off doing college football, the theory behind 1 play per week was I don't follow the sport very well. And to your point, Corbin, in NBA, I think the fact that you don't follow it helps. Because it certainly helped in college football. We just look at those sports really different than the people that are true diehard fans. And there are a lot of people that say sometimes watching a sport hurts your handicapping because your eyes can deceive you. That being said, I now know enough about the sport to know that, yes, there is a wide open market on the college football player props. Absolutely 100%. We've seen some absolute gifts over the last few months. I mean, player props that are hitting at halftime, no sweat. So I'm with you that the volume on college football is probably going to increase. Not probably, it is going to increase. We're still going to have our big team total of the week because that's been hitting at an astronomical rate. But I'm with you that we're gonna keep going with those. So. All right, it's time for some awards. I know all these professional athletes have accomplished great things in their career, but let's be honest, this is what they're going for. They're going for making our 2024. And like I said,
we should have done this live so they could watch.
Don't worry. I'll
have them call in.
Tag them in it.
I'll send them to all of them. Yeah. All right. So what I love about this is we did not run this by each other. We all just submitted our own. So we will take a look here at our 2024 MVPs. I will go first. Xander Schauffele, top 20, has been absolutely fantastic. Best parlay piece of the year. John Rahm, top 10 on the Live Tour. Was the only time he didn't finish in the top 10 was when he had to withdraw because he hurt his foot. Fading Peter Wright in the Premier League. Corbin was fantastic. Luke Littler, of course, was great. Dakota Ditcheva was a cash cow. Alex Pereira, Kyle Barallo, and just recently, Yuri Kulik, the 20-year-old defenseman from the Buffalo Sabres, over 1.5 shots on goal. Little did you know that a rookie defenseman from the Buffalo Sabres would end up being a cash cow. And Sabalenka, 2-0 early rounds. I continue to say that when she wins early in these tournaments, she just beats the crap out of her opponent, and we're able to take advantage of that. So those are my 2024 MVPs. All right, Corbin, you're up.
Yeah, mine are just continuations, basically. F1 qualifying, those kind of people. I'm trying, like Piastri, Norris, Leclerc in certain spots. Those guys, Pierre Gasly recently as well, cash cows in F1 qualifying. Darts, particularly the sets, the Premier League, the World Championships, and I always forget what the other one's called. I think it's called the World Match Play. All of them, when there's sets involved, longer format, great, love it. Obviously, Fading Peter Wright was the theme of the Premier League, was amazing. Luke Littler won us multiple outrights in the end or futures for the World Championships. He's another one we're just going to continue to ride. Tennis majors, Sabalenka, same theme. There's so many tennis players that I could name in here, and quite a few that I've got my eye on for next year that currently haven't played, but I'm hoping will make the list by this time next year. Cross-sport parlays, again, like same guys that you've mentioned, just really love what we're doing with cross-sport parlays. Golf round scores, again, I've mentioned playing them all year. Xander Schauffele was one of those guys. Equally, him on the top 20 cash cow might have been my favorite piece of the year, actually, Xander Schauffele. Sabalenka, already mentioned, just the real MVP. I also had obviously Peter Wright, Alex Pereira, normal stuff, and live betting. That's probably my biggest MVPs of the year.
Nice. All right, Jim, you went a little bit different route here.
I did
like
go a little bit different. Before we do, just Corbin's dart sets. Corbin, you identify where you were kicking butt in, and you leaned into it. So yes, dart sets are huge. Corbin really knocked it out of the park with these dart sets and the totals. Awesome. I went a little different. Our Winning in the Shadows Discord. So we weren't even a full year up. We're up to 246 members at this point. If you're not in there, I don't know what you're doing. Okay. Probably the best group of people that I've ever been in touch with as far as being not knowledgeable, not being reckless. We've learned so much about other sports and the way other people do things. I mean, markets we never would have thought of, a cricket department, a horse racing department, just go on and on and on. Really, thank you guys, everything. And keep on growing. We're up to 240. Love to see it up around 300 in a month or two. MMA's coming back. Make sure you get in. Shout out to you guys. Low level MMA, just the parking lot attendant, the plumber, the realtor. I can go on and on. The side hustle guys, the late replacements. We need to get whoever. Lisa Malden gets to fight Dakota Ditchevin next year. Hopefully, that'd be great. These low-level MMA fights, these just like Corbin said with the early rounds, and Andy said with the early rounds with Sabalenka. It's the same with MMA. In the tournament style in PFL, it's the low level. Get them in here. Bellator, signing fighters off the street. Bring them in. 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. Why not? Roger Huerta's retirement fight.
I was going to say the old guys.
The old dogs, right? But they're always on these low-level cards. So, yeah, shout out to them. They were absolutely fantastic. How many years is this now? Takedown Live?
Oh, man.
I want to say 3 or 4, right?
3 or 4 years. Yeah, you came in. You and I have been doing it, what, year and a half? 2 years, something like that.
Mm-hmm. So Takedown Live still going strong. If you guys are available on a Saturday, again, we say it every time. I know it's a lot of time to consume. Take a break, take a walk, spend time with your family during the day. But there is so much money to be made live betting UFC. We identified it this year. We had some absolutely fantastic plus 600, 700 live bets just by sitting down for 6 hours. I know it's long, and watching a show. So me and Andy will be doing Takedown Live as much as we possibly can without it interrupting our entire lives. But really, if you can get there, that show's still running hot, and it's going to keep running hot into the new year. College football, Andy, your team totals since last year just been absolutely amazing. To dip your toe right into a sport like that and have so much success is awesome. And the player props over the past couple of weeks, look, college football player props were my Christmas gift to myself this year. They were fantastic. So I'm looking forward to them for next year. That's my personal MVP for this month.
Love it. Love it. Yeah, there's some really great names. Really, really great names here. So, yeah, that's good stuff, guys. I love our 2025 goals. Let's really try and hold ourselves to an even higher standard. So, Corbin, I know you're a little disappointed with 127 units, but seriously, what a high bar we've set for ourselves.
Yes.
When you're bummed for 127 units. So, yeah, really, really happy with where we're going, and the future is bright. So, once again, guys, we're running this promo for 365 days for all plays. Just go to my profile page at Wager Talk. Use the promo code Andy365. You get 1 year for $99 per month. Again, guys, it's normally $299 for 30 days. The special saves you $2,400.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of bets. $2,400 is a lot of bets that you don't even have to make because you're saving it by taking advantage of this. Again, we're going to leave this special up for a few weeks. If you have any questions about it, leave a comment or just join our Discord. I'll put a link in the description to our Discord channel. Reach out to any one of us. We'll work something out with you. I know it's a pretty big investment, but I promise you it's worth it. We're number one over the last 2 years. That's some really good long-term success. And the nice thing about being long-term and you just play all the plays is you're never going to miss out on those winning streaks. That's the best part about it. Like we talk about it all the time. To hit 60% of your bets means you're going to lose 21 weeks out of the year. That's to be the best in the world. And you do not want to miss out on those winning weeks. And the way to do that is just lock in long-term. You get all sports and all percentages. So again, the promo code is Andy365. You get 1 year. It's $99 per month over at wagertalk.com. All right, guys, congratulations. That's another successful big-time year, plus 91 units in 2023, plus 127 units. Let's hold tight to these goals. I think the easiest one, I mean, no brainer. The easiest one is Corbin getting a new camera. Surely we can, surely we can make that happen ASAP. That's got to be the easiest goal of all time. But I love it. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Hit the like button, leave us a comment, and again, if you're not part of the Discord, make sure you join. And if you have any questions about any plays, we're here for you. So, good luck on all your plays, everyone. Let's have another big year in 2025. We'll see everyone later.
Good luck.